to the board meeting for the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District. Would you all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. We have our Metro Cable announcement. Open session meeting is videotaped for Cablecast on Metro Cable 14. Replay on Saturday, December 15th, 2012 at 1 p.m. and Monday, December 17th at 6 p.m. on Channel 14, as well as webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. Open session meetings are also available for viewing on the district website at www.metrofire.ca.gov. We now come to the public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within the district jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any speaker cards?
We have none.
All right, thank you very much. Moving on, Chair will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Clark and Scheidegger.
Roll call. Director Monk,
Aye.
Gould,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Scheidegger,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Pearson,
Aye.
Jones,
Aye.
Director Arzali absent. Motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. All right, and now we will adjourn for closed session since we have a variety of lawyers in the House. And Counsel, would you like to call out our agenda item, please?
Yes, with respect to item number 1 on the closed session agenda, anticipated litigation conference with counsel pursuant to Government Code 54956.9B, the board will be adjourning with respect to the filed litigation of Baker versus Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, U.S. District Court for the Eastern District, case number 212-02925.
All right, thank you, sir. We're hereby adjourned to closed session. Thursday night session, and we have reconvened from closed session. And General Counsel Lava, would you please report out on your items?
Yes, thank you, Director Jones. The board met in closed session with respect to item number 1 on the agenda, conference with legal counsel. No action was taken. The board also met with respect to the industrial disability retirement claim of employee Vince Elko. No action was taken. The board met with respect to the industrial disability retirement and workers' compensation claim of employee Frank Diaz. No action was taken with respect to the industrial disability retirement claim, and the board voted unanimously to approve the workers' compensation settlement that was offered. The board finally met with respect to the industrial disability claim of employee Matthew Jewett, and no action was taken. The board may take up the industrial disability claims of all of those employees upon a call for a vote.
Thank you very much, Counsel. And that's exactly what we'll do. We will take a vote for 2A, the industrial disability retirement resolution for Vince Elko. Chair will entertain a motion.
Action item 6.
I have this, well, it would be action
Page 3.
item.
Page 3.
I see what you mean. Yeah,
Either one.
well, since it's fresh in our discussion, why don't we go ahead and let's knock it out? We'll deal with items 6, 7, and 8. Chair will entertain a motion for item number 6.
I think I heard something over there.
Okay, moved and seconded? All right, please call the roll. Clark.
Yeah, I don't know.
Director Pearson.
Staff's approval,
Who made the
yeah.
motion? Okay.
approve staff's recommendation.
Roll call, please. Director Monk,
Aye.
Gould,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Barzani absent, motion passes.
All righty, thank you. Item 7, resolution industrial disability retirement firefighter Frank Diaz.
Second.
Madam Clerk?
Director Monk.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Director Barzani absent, motion passes.
Item 8, resolution industrial disability retirement engineer Matthew Jewett.
Madam Chair, I move the recommendation for the industrial disability resolution for Matthew Jewett.
Second.
Seconded.
Roll call. Director Monk.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Barzani absent, motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Now we'll return to the top of action item number 1. We have certified general election results from November 6, 2012, regarding board members Divisions 2, 4, 5, 6, and 9. And the proposal is to approve staff recommendation. Madam Clerk?
On page 15 in your agenda, you do have a staff report, and you have a certification of the election results from voters registration. There were insufficient nominees for the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District Divisions 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8 to require an election on November 6, 2012. In accordance with Elections Code Section 10515, the following persons who filed a declaration of candidacy shall take office and serve exactly as if elected at the general district election. In Division 2, Grant Gould. Division 5, Jack Scheidegger. Division 6, Delman Clark. Division 8, Gay Jones. In Division 4, there is no candidate. Recommendation is to accept the certified election results of the November 6, 2010 general election as shown on the certificate of facts.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Are there any questions or comments?
Necessary to approve this?
Yes, yes, it is.
I would move that we approve the election results, the certified election results.
All right, it's been first and seconded. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk,
I
please
do
call the
have
roll.
discussion.
Oh,
I'd like
please.
to congratulate all the directors and admonish the organizations that have a stake in this department for not turning up a candidate in District 4.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Sorry.
Please call the roll.
Roll call. Director Monk.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Barzani absent, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back, directors.
Thank you. All righty, we'll be moving to action item number 2. This is designation of board members to the Sacramento County Board of Supervisors interview panel for appointment of Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District Division 4 Director. Now, it's the latest and greatest update within, the last 2 hours, and Madam Clerk, please pitch in if I get something wrong here, Chief as well. It is that there will be 2 members of the County Board of Supervisors and 2 members from Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District's Board, as well as a representative from the EO's office at the county. So we need to discuss and identify 2 members who will participate in this panel selection. And I would also like to propose that we choose a third person as an alternate, because we do not really have a specific timeline or dates as to when these actual interviews will occur. So I would feel much better if we talked amongst ourselves and came up with 2 folks and an alternate. And with that being said, I would like very much to participate in this. Don Natoli is my supervisor. I have had discussions with him previously on this issue, as well as I was very much involved with the redistricting of our district from the 2010 census. And my, part of this is my old district. So I feel an attachment. Now, anyone else is welcome to put in their 2 cents in their attachment list.
Madam Chair, if I could, I would certainly support your desire to be on that commission. I currently serve with Mr. Cerna, Yee, and Natoli on the Civil Rights and Fair Housing Commission, and I have a good working relationship with those gentlemen. I don't think it's necessary for me to necessarily sit on that commission to be able to speak with them about the issue, but if the board sees fit, I would be willing to sit on that commission.
Any
I
other?
heard 2
interests?
candidates.
And I'd be interested in helping you out too, Gabe, in that selection.
Do you want to do alternate?
Well, yeah, why don't,
Depends on schedules.
I talked about being an alternate,
yeah.
but that's whatever you guys want to do. I mean,
Well, we
I
can have
support
2
those two as
alternates as
the
well.
board, and then we can have an alternate, and if Director, he can do it, or I can do it. It was part of my district originally also, they split
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
to get District 4.
And I would defer to
Yeah.
that. That seems
Yeah.
reasonable.
Yeah.
And he's got a
that's-
hurt wing.
That's a strong item for me, so I have to assume it's the same for
Pretty
you.
mistaken it.
Yeah.
Might be.
Right.
To me, like
Well, I would,
we're good.
not knowing when the interviews are coming up, I would suggest leaving it flexible as to who's available at that time, okay?
All right, well, why don't we go with alternate 1 and alternate 2, and that way we've officially recognized someone to be at this panel. I think it's critical that we have 2 people participating.
So I make a motion, we assign our outgoing president and vice president to that panel, and then we'll let the other 2 directors arm wrestle for
Left.
alternating alternate.
Yeah.
We have to accommodate our, would that satisfy the legal requirements for making sure we have representatives at this panel?
Yes, it would.
All righty.
I just need a
there's
second.
been motion.
Yeah, I just need a second.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
I'm
there we
pretty
go.
open.
Yeah, I know, that's what
Is there any further discussion on this?
Who is the second on that?
That's Jack.
Thank you.
A little slow.
Very much. All right, so Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Director Nuck.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger. Clark.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Barzani absent. Motion passes.
Thank you very much, everyone. Action item number 3, bid award, firefighting thermal imaging cameras. Assistant Chief Walt White. Welcome to the podium, sir.
Thank you. President Jones, Directors, Assistant Chief Walt White with the Training and Safety Division. And what we have is we're seeking board authorization to award a formal bid for firefighting thermal imaging cameras. In 2011, the district applied and received for a federal grant in the amount of $1,249,720. This was a 20% matching share, and this was a regional grant. The district worked together with Sacramento City Fire, Consumnes Fire, and Folsom Fire, and jointly created a MOU for the specifics of this purchase. After the MOU was completed, all 4 agencies worked together to create a proposal for purchase of the new thermal imaging cameras with the main intent to use the same camera throughout the region. There were 7 manufacturers proposals that were submitted, and a demonstration of all of these was conducted where all agencies participated, followed by a practical evaluation, field test, which occurred in November, between November 5 and 9. And during that week, over 40 fire crews all participated in the evaluation of these cameras. And they went through 3 different scenarios. So we feel that we had a very thorough, very comprehensive evaluation. After all the cameras were evaluated, the top scored camera was selected, and a request for RFQ was disseminated, and 3 bids were received, and ISG Infrastructure, or Infosystem was the most responsive bidder for this process. So at this time, or staff is recommending that the board approve the purchase through the regional grant of the 122 thermal imaging cameras, 62 of which will go to Metro Fire.
Questions or
questions?
comments on the TICs?
Chief, for the public, can you explain what the cameras are used for and what its purpose is so that?
Sure. A thermal imaging camera is one that allows the crews to find heat sources, to conduct a more effective search and rescue, to locate any victims that may be trapped. It's a way to basically see through smoke that the naked eye couldn't see. So with this equipment, it would greatly enhance our search and rescue capabilities and our ability to seek and find the seat of fires.
Go ahead, go ahead. No, you go.
Does the number indicated in the report, so one will go on each piece of firefighting equipment that we have? I mean, each engine, each truck?
Yeah, that's correct. And they're going to be replacing cameras that have become, older cameras that were now kind of reaching the functional obsolete point of their use. These newer cameras are higher quality, higher resolution, lighter weight, got better durability rating. So we feel very comfortable that this equipment is going to be well utilized and service the district well.
I would encourage that the surplus units that you have, maybe 3 or 4 of them could be set aside for fire camp.
Absolutely. We have a plan right now to hold some of the better units and then look at a process to,
Donate.
yes, correct.
Great.
The
Most
remaining.
efficient
you.
recycling use, yeah?
Madam Chair, I just want to congratulate the group for this. I can remember many moons ago when I think we got 14 from a group of, I think a woman's group out of Gold River. I sure would like to tap back into that group and thank them again and have them here one night and maybe have just a thank you to them because they really saw the vision of this and ponied up their own money from that group to allow the firefighters to just get a couple of them. And now look, in this region, we're buying 122. It's become a standard piece of equipment. I think it's also important to realize, too, that not only does this piece of equipment find our constituents who may be trapped or in danger, but it also helps us find our firefighters who have fallen down. And so I think that's important as well to realize that the cost savings that comes from being able to not only find our citizens, but also find our employees is quite significant. Just one burned firefighter could buy you tens and dozens of these cameras. And so this is a great thing for the community. And I just remember back when we got that small amount of money from those women out of Gold River and we bought those cameras and we thought it was the greatest thing going. Now we're buying over 100 of them. How awesome is that? Kudos to all of you.
I appreciate it, and also want to acknowledge that it absolutely was a team effort, and in addition to the crews that spent their time evaluating to make sure we got the right product, Larry Davis and his personnel, as well as Mark Jones and Lindsay Hunter, all played very big contributing roles in the entire process from receiving the grant to the evaluation.
And Chief, I'd like to make one more comment. I would also like us to take a look at, this may be one of those seminal moments that we'll think about 20 years from now. Look at the organizations that came together and bought something together like this, of this magnitude. Watch out. Could happen again.
Thank
I
you.
believe Director Monk had a question or comment, sir?
With the ISG unit, what's the average service life on these that we can
We
expect?
actually have a rep here that might be able to, Jay White?
Not to put you on the spot, but
It all depends of the service
Excuse me, sir, please, you're welcome.
Just come
welcome to
right
the
up and
podium.
introduce yourself.
And
Get on
and-
TV.
This
Yeah,
is
there you go.
Jay White, a factory representative.
Welcome, Mr. White.
Thank you very much. And it all depends on the use of the camera. I mean, some of them don't get used, some of them get used a lot. So we have some out there that have been in service 10 years, some of them 5 to 6 years. So it all depends on the use of the camera. But with your camera, we are the manufacturer too. ISG is the manufacturer of this camera, so there's no middleman. We did give you a 3-year warranty across the board on these cameras, and it's a great product, and we look forward to working with your company. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, we'll need him here in a minute.
With a
huh?
fact check.
All right.
Is your-
Director Clark and
your
then Director
manufacturing
Scheidegger.
facility, is it local or are you, yeah,
We're in Lawrenceville, Georgia,
okay.
about a half an hour out of Atlanta. And during the demo, I also passed it along that we'd love for a couple people to come back and see our facility too. Maybe even one, and that would be on ISG. We'd love to have you come back and see what we do. We are actually one of the only, well, we are the only manufacturer in the United States of thermal imaging cameras. Everybody else buys their parts and pieces, puts them into a shell, and sells them to you. So there's a third party, so cost of ownership is a lot higher.
Wonderful.
Director
Something
Scheid-
built here.
I'd just like to really draw attention to the fact that this life-saving equipment, 80% of the money was once again successfully acquired from grants, which I think is a tremendous effort on the part of this fire district for our citizens, this life-saving equipment being acquired in that means. And as Grant said, I think it's really commendable that we're working as a team in this area, in this region, to work together to select the equipment and work together in that process very effectively. So kudos to Sac Metro once again for a good job.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. And I'd just like to make one additional comment. It was probably, memory fades a bit, but 6-7 years ago, when the thermal imaging cameras first were put on some rigs, and including some of the agencies within our MOU. And within the first week of these being put on the rig, a woman was pulled out of a burning home in her house. Her life was saved because of that thermal imaging camera, within the first week of this being put on a rig in our area. So, well done, and it's just great that we get these on the rigs. This is what our job's supposed to be. All righty. Madam Clerk, or if there no further discussion, I'll entertain a motion and a second. Right, first and seconded, please call the roll.
Director Monk.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Aye.
Pearson. Jones.
Aye.
Orzali absent, motion passes.
All right, thank you very much. Action item number 4, resolution disposal of surplus firearms. Steve Johnson. Good evening, Mr. Johnson, and welcome to the podium.
Evening, President Jones, Directors, Chief. Steve Johnson, fire investigator in the district's Farms Range Master, sorry. Here to ask for authorization to surplus a firearm, Sig Sauer P220 45 caliber.
We have the proposal in our packet. Are there any discussions?
Move staff's recommendation that the board adopt the attached resolution and surplus the listed firearm.
Second.
First and second, Director Gould. Madam Clerk, would you please call the
I-
roll? Oh,
Can I
I'm
have a
sorry.
question? I have a question. Mr. Johnson, thanks for being here this evening. I just want to make sure that this personal defense weapons of El Dorado Hills has no connection to anyone at our organization?
No, I have no idea who they are. They're
Okay.
just a new company.
Okay, thank you.
Who's Chris Mitchell?
He's a retired fire captain with our agency. He was also the investigator for our department who carried that firearm.
All right, are there any other
No.
further questions or comments? If not, please call the roll.
Directors Monk.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Orzali absent, motion passes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Thanks,
time.
Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, action item number 5, resolution, lease agreement for 2101 Hurley Way, Sacramento, with the County of Sacramento Sheriff's Department. And we have Mr. Larry Davis as our presenter. Welcome to the podium, Mr. Davis.
Director's Larry Davis, Chief Development Officer. The item in front of you is the authorization and resolution to enter into a lease with the Sacramento Sheriff's Department. You have all the details and the numbers and the project in front of you, and what I just would like to comment on is that 30 days ago, we didn't know about this deal. 45 days or so, we weren't even aware of it. The Sheriff's Office came to us with a problem. They needed to change locations. We had a space. Number of unusual items in this lease, if you'll look at it. There's the rent that we're asking is a little lower than you would expect in the market. However, we're not asking for, or they are not asking for the tenant improvements and the free rent up front that they typically would. That is going to save the district a lot of out-of-pocket funds, and we won't have to come up, with $500,000 to $600,000 in tenant improvements, possibly more, depending upon the configuration of the building, if there were multiple tenants in there. So, taken as a whole, this is a very good deal, but it's very unusual, in that it isn't, typically the way it would be structured in the market. The good news is this deal meets the Sheriff's Department requirements. They have the upfront funding to make the tenant improvements themselves. They've asked us to do the work, the contracting and front the tenant improvements. They're going to reimburse us for the TIs on the back end of the deal. And they're also going to pay their own electrical and gas costs, which further, strengthens the rent that's shown on the deal. And so taken as a whole, it's a very good deal for the district, and it's the deal that the Sheriff's Office needs in order to get into the building. So there's no straight line way to give this to you. I know that's a little disjointed, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And I also would like to say that I've been in public service 39 years now, and this has probably been the most collaborative, cooperative, intergovernmental working together that I've ever seen. We from the very beginning of the deal, we said, we don't have time to negotiate this the way you typically would, and everybody just laid their cards on the table, and we put together a deal that would work. So I just want to thank everybody at the Sheriff's Department. There's been a kind of a sense of mission to get this to work, and sense that they're an allied agency and going to be a very good tenant for us. I recommend that we move forward with this deal as proposed.
Director Pearson.
Have we seen their tenant improvements, what their wishes are? Turn the building into such a specialized building that would make it difficult to rent again in the future if they were to vacate it?
Yeah, and that's another one of those things is that we have drawings that and we have a bid. The bids are starting to come in. We had to have this prepared for. There's only one meeting this month. They had to take it to the Board of Supervisors 2 days ago, and we have to get it to our board clerk a week ahead. So we had to get the deal together a week ago in order to bring it here tonight. So there are a couple of pieces that are missing, and one is the final floor plan. But we've had it out to Lionakis Architects, and they've moved heaven and earth and done an ADA analysis of the building, and come up with the ADA requirements that are necessary to make it usable, no matter who the tenant is, and a floor plan that's workable for the sheriff within their budget, and it's all come together. It would be worse if we had to do multiple tenants and put in, divising walls and separate all the HVAC. So we're getting a single tenant, very little modification to the building, but the tenant improvements are still going to be in the $700,000 plus range, and the Sheriff's Department is going to pay that cost completely. And we're going to front it, and then they're going to reimburse us. So, and there's very, few changes to the building, with the exception of they need a perimeter security fence because they have, they leave cars there overnight. They're parking enforcement vehicles, and we're all there overnight. So they're going to need a security fence. And they're putting in the security fence themselves.
That'll go right out to the public right-of-way with a gate that allows people to
They'll actually go back. There'll be a small public parking in front. And so there at the edge of the building will be a gate to control it, and then a security fence around. And that'll leave the public parking. Another big issue that we ran into, we've bought the building 10 years ago or more. Or 2000, or we occupied the building in 2000. I think they purchased it before that. So the ADA work that was necessary at that time was different than it is now, 13 years later. There were some ADA issues that we ran into. No matter who leased the building, we were going to do that. Lionakis came up with a very creative design that was that was the linchpin item on the whole project, being able to get done in this amount of time. Lionakis came up with a very creative process within everybody's budget, just barely. You'll notice that we're going to split some of the costs on that because, it was more than we wanted to bear given the rents that we were charging. And so the sheriff's office offered up some additional funds to make that happen. So answering your question is, it's not going to change, the building completely, but it's not, it's not no changes,
They're not like putting holding cells
No.
or, anything weird like that, that's what
No,
I'm worried
no.
about. It's something.
So this is their parking enforcement division, so they have a briefing room and they have, they have public counters mostly, and they're very secure public counters. They have some interrogation rooms, that kind of thing.
President Jones, if I may,
Chief?
be recognized. I'd like to commend Larry Davis and Scott Cockrum, Deputy Chief Cockrum, and their staff. They worked on this. This is like a 45-day deal to put this together. At the end of the day, our goal in the budget was to get it leased, I believe, by January 1st. That was our goal this year in our budget, and we're actually going to meet that. The sheriff Scott Jones was immensely grateful for us to be able to put this deal together. And at the end of the day, several good points about it is this. We don't have to front the $700,000 or $800,000 permanently up front. We'll front that money for them and recover it once the tenant improvements are done. They'll pay us back. And the only reason we're doing that is it's easier and more efficient with time to get the things done they need. Second, we'll get about $300,000, $350,000 less than we would have if we'd have stayed at market rents. But I want to point out that's over a 10-year period. So we have a building with the third big issue, a nonprofit government agency in there. And so Larry has been very successful. If you look at all of our leases that they've done with our buildings, BLM, Sutter, the Sheriff's Department, so on and so forth, are all nonprofits. So I would say to the board, take my hat off to Larry and Deputy Chief Cockrum. They've done just a heck of a job on putting this together, and I think it's an excellent opportunity for the district.
Thank you, Chief. We have some other comments. Director Scheidegger?
Larry, I support this. I think it's a great move, and I echo the chief's comments in congratulating the efforts of the department to do this. Couple of little questions. One, the 80,000 ADA, what was the total on the ADA for the building?
It was 166, and this is the public access, the clear path from the public right-of-way. Chief, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 166 and I'm telling you what, that was a lot better than the nightmares I was having standing out in front of that building. Imagine standing in front of Hurley and trying to imagine a clear path of travel from the sidewalk to the front door. And the parking lot there is uneven, but they were able to, take transits and figure a clear path with the least disruption and least aesthetic disruption to the building, and come in at $166,000. That was pretty good.
Well, your nightmare is the purpose of my question, because I've had some experience with this, and knowing that building the way I do, I think for us, because ultimately the landlord's going to be responsible, to have that 80,000 responsibility is a really good deal for us. Secondly, I think the chief might have already answered this. You make the comment that the market rent is a little lower than you know, the level. But the point, and I think the chief answered it, you amortize the total amount of rents we're going to receive into the other savings that you've identified, and it's still a win-win for us. So, again, thanks for your efforts, and that answers my question.
And one other thing with that, I think that's important, is I'm fairly certain that this tenant will make their rent payments on time, all the time.
Well, we know somebody at the sheriff's office that can help us with
Yeah.
those if necessary.
To your point, the savings that we have for not having to outlay for tenant improvements up front, smoothed over the entire 10 years of, makes the deal whole.
Right.
But candidly, not until, for 10 years. So,
You might wait 6 months for a tenant, too.
That's-
well, and all of that came into it. And,
Got a tenant.
It looks like a good deal.
right. And so that's what I'm trying to describe it, as taken as a whole, this is a fair deal to all parties.
That's right. Good job.
Were there some other comments? Director Gould?
Madam Chair, thank you very much. This is a winner all the way around. I make a motion, we adopt staff's recommendation and get this moving forward as another example of regional cooperativeness and people coming together and doing the right thing.
There it
Again,
came up again.
another one.
I'll second.
Director Monk, second. Did you have a comment, Director Monk?
Yeah, I appreciate the efforts on the behalf of Mr. Davis and the district in cooperating with our allied public agencies. That in the budget times that we've got, and with cuts as bad as they are, we need to work together, and this is one excellent way to help our other agencies.
And it also means for 10 years, we won't have to go back there. That's a winner.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Davis.
Good job, Larry.
Thank
And
you.
it's great to see two very strong
Oh, is it?
public emergency services operators
take
here in
you
this
out that
county
elevator.
doing good business together, helping each other. And it's all ends up to enhance for public safety and the public good. So thank you very much. Now, we had motion, and was there a second, Madam Clerk?
Me.
All right, it's been first and seconded. With no further comments, please call the roll.
Director Monk.
Aye.
Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Orzali absent. Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, action item number 9. We have election of board officers, and the term commences January 1st, 2013. And for a bit of historical perspective, what we have done traditionally pretty much since inception here at Metro Fire is that we rotate all of our board members through these positions, from secretary to vice president to president. And I would very much like to continue that theme, that tradition. It makes for a smooth transition, and it gives each and every board member an opportunity, if they choose, to participate in the executive committee. And with that being said, I would like to nominate Director Matt Kelly for president.
Madam Chair, if I could have the courtesy, current secretary will move into the vice chair's position under the plan that you've described, and introducing as a new secretary, I would like to support Mr. Gould. Mr. Gould has been on this board for longer than I have, and he has not had the time or the desire to participate in the leadership, and he's expressed that desire this time, and I would support him at that.
All right, thank you.
And I'll second that. Grant's been a director on this board long before me and has done an excellent job. I think he'll do a great job as secretary.
Thank you, I do too. And then in the absence, Chair, I've already nominated Director Kelly. Would someone like to nominate Director Orzali?
I'll nominate Director Orzali for vice president.
I'll second it.
Seconded. So we have a slate with incoming President Kelly, Vice President Orzali, and Secretary Gould. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
My pleasure. Director Monk.
You sure you guys want to do this? Aye.
Thank you. Gould.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Scheidegger.
Aye.
Clark. Pearson.
Aye.
Jones.
Aye.
Orzali absent. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
All right, I see no presentation items on the agenda. Is that to confirm with that, Madam Clerk? No presentation items?
There are none. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to President's Report. Would like to say thank you to each and every person in this room and all the members of the district, as well as the public, for their support. They're supporting me in this position as president of the board. I'd particularly like to thank the board clerk, Charlotte Tilson, and Chief Henke, Kurt Henke, for their unswerving support and dedication. It's for the district, and it makes the job of executive officer or executive committee officers so much more fulfilling, because it comes so much closer to success when you have the support of all your senior staff as well as fellow directors. So again, I would like to say thank you to each and every one of you, and congratulations, Director Kelly. Thank you. All right. Moving on to Fire Chief's report.
President Jones, Board of Directors, first off, it's with a sense of sadness that I'd like to express condolences to the families of Lauren Wolcott and Chief Giblin. I didn't know Chief Giblin that well, but I knew Lauren Wolcott. He was a stalwart in the fire service. He was around for as long as I've been around. I knew him when I was a young firefighter in the Bay Area. That's, how much he touched people and was out there, and he's sorely going to be missed. You go to the 522 holiday party or whatever, and you see that he's not there. It definitely tugs on your heartstrings that you've lost somebody that's meant a lot, not just to the city of Sacramento, but to this district and a lot of firefighters across the state. On a happier note, I'd like to offer my congratulations to Directors Clark, Gould, Jones, and Scheidegger, to each and every one of you for your election and for being sworn in last week. It was tremendous, and I'm looking forward to the next several years working with each and every one of you. And my congratulations to the President-elect Kelly, who will take over next, to Director Orzali, who's probably hunting somewhere in the North American continent, and of course to Director Gould. I'm going to start off with some good news. Let's just bring Larry Davis right on down front again. We were notified about a week ago that we were successful in getting our AFG grant, Wellness and Fitness grant. You remember last year we turned that down for reasons so that we could maximize other grants that we got, because you're only allowed so much. We turned it down. We reapplied for it. We received that grant to the tune of about $462,000. And so that will help fund the program that we already have started, that we had budgeted. It's going to be a huge help to the district. And then on top of that, we were successful in getting some SHISCAP money, a grant for $50,000 to replace the radio avionics on Copter 1. We were successful in getting that last week. I think it was last week I was in that meeting. Maybe it was this week. But in any event, we got about $500,000 to announce in grants for those two grants that have come forward. And, I can't say enough that, Larry and his staff do a great job doing these grants and getting in there and knowing it. I mean, you got the best grant writer in the business. You're not going to find anybody better on Homeland Security grants in the country. And then you couple that with the senior staff and a group of people, the deputy chiefs and assistant chiefs, and all the way down to rank and file that help work on these grants, captains, engineers, and firefighters, and that's why we've been so successful. It's not because of me, it's not because of anything but the hard work that those people put in and day out to make that happen. So congratulations to all of them and to the district as a whole. It's always nice to be able to come and talk about that. The other thing I'd like to announce, as you well know, We have not moved out of this room because we had some delays in regards to the simulator project. And I would like to announce that I received an email today from the Secretary of Cali MA notifying us that we are approved to move on with construction of the simulator project. And we will be commencing that in January. And we will be meeting with Cali MA over the next 30 days to work in a program whereby we turn over the running of that program, which it rightfully needs to be, to Cali MA, and most likely it's going to fall under the CSTI category. You've heard of CSTI. I know the Secretary has a huge reorganization that he got approved with the Governor's office, so we're looking forward to that. Construction, I believe, will begin in early February. But we got permitted yesterday as well, so we're ready to go. So I'm very, very excited about that, and I think that that was a touch and go over the last several months. That's why I don't have as much hair as I used to, and I know you folks were getting pretty perturbed about not having a boardroom, and I heard each and every one of you, and I expressed that to the Capitol, and that we needed help, and Secretary Ghilarducci delivered, and we're very, very appreciative of him doing that and putting the trust and faith of the state of California and the partnership with us here at Metro Fire to deliver what I think will be a state-of-the-art program, not just in the state of California, but across the United States. As far as meetings, on the 9th, staff attended the annual State of the City address at Rancho Cordova. On the 10th, Station 32 had their open house. We talked about that. Labor, we continue to meet with the labor unions about pre-funding of retiree medical. I got to tell you, I found those to be extremely positive. I am hopeful that we are going to have something on that horizon in the next couple months. I can't say enough about how much labor has stepped up and actually thought outside of the box on how to reduce expenses while trying to maintain the level of health care services and ensuring that it's funded into the future for the next 30, 40, 50 years. And I got to tell you, if we're able to accomplish that, which I have full faith that we will, we will have touched those three rails that you normally don't touch. Pension reform, we did it before the state of California enacted it. Healthcare reform in regards to ensuring that it's pre-funded so we can get those benefits to the employees that retire that we made those promises for. And overall, restructuring the way we do business at the district and thinking outside of the box. And I think it's important that the public out there know that organized labor, that 522 stepped up to the plate on that stuff and has been incredible to work with and continues to be. I also continue to meet with the Citizens Advisory Committee to the fire chief, and those have been going exceedingly well, and I hope to have something to report to you in late January, early February as we move forward. We also attended the California Fire Chiefs Conference that was held here in Sacramento. That has been was well attended and was very beneficial. Also attended the 23rd Annual Building Trades Holiday Party that Director Kelly puts on for the building trades, the president of building trades. That is always a good event. It's always good to go and see the other electeds that show up and get to talk to people in the building trades industry. I don't think people realize how much that affects what we do, especially from a fire prevention standpoint and the way we work. And we have to work intricately with those people. And so when you think about safety issues out there, whether it's smoke dampers or fire alarm systems or those types of things, it's important that we talk to the people that are in the industry that are putting those systems in, testing them, and it's always nice to go in and visit with them. Again, I attended the Approval Authority meeting on the 11th, where we got the $50,000 grant for the helicopter. Also attended the local 522 holiday party the other night. And that was a great event. Yesterday, my staff and I attended Deputy Chief Jody Gostner's retirement from CAL FIRE. He was in AEU up here, 43 years of service.
Wow.
43 years of service, and he retired. He was the deputy chief when I got here of operations. He was a great guy to work with, and he definitely will be missed. Yesterday, we had a great Rancho Cordova 2x2 meeting. I asked them to give us patience and indulgence and that we would be out of here in the next 6 months. Won't we? Yeah, that's what I thought. So we are working very, very hard on that to make that move. League of Cities, we have our deal with that. We're moving forward. The California Regional Fire Academy class graduation, 19 graduation, is this Sunday, I believe, at the Crest Theater. I will be unable to attend that. However, we will have the SAC Metro graduation, Academy 12-2, will be on the 18th, which would be Tuesday, I believe, and that's at 4:30 p.m. at the Crest Theater. So our latest class of recruits are graduating. It's always good to see the directors that can make it there. I know it's a work day, but it's 4:30 Crest Theater, and it's the Academy graduation. Save the date, January 12th is the Guns N' Hoses Crab Feed at the Scottish Rite Center. Dinner tickets are at 6 p.m. On the 26th is the Guns N' Hoses football game at Cal State Sacramento's stadium, 1 p.m. kickoff. I don't want to talk any bold talk, but after last year, I'm anticipating that victory will be in our reach again, but we'll just have to see. So don't miss it. It's a great, great event to go to. On the 26th, the Pioneer Mutual and Ladder 22nd Annual Crab Feed at St. Mary's Church Hall at 7 p.m. New hires, November 26th, we hired Robin Almeida, accounting technician, and December 3rd, Sarah Turner, computer systems supervisor. Reinstatements, none to report. Reassignments, none to report. Retirements, November 11th, firefighter David Bartley retired after 22 years of service, and December 12th, database technician Bren Wren, 19 years of service. I have no promotions to report. Recruitment, we have identified all the 58 personnel that we're hiring for the single-role EMT paramedic program. They have successfully completed their backgrounds and medicals, I believe, and are headed to start the academy in January 2nd. So that program is off and running, and we continue to work with our partners at AMR and our surge capacity agreement moving forward with that. We have selected a PIO team. You guys remember that Michelle Item's been doing the public information officer stuff, and before her was Deputy Chief Cockrum. We've decided that to take the load off of one person, which is a lot, to diversify it out, and also for succession planning, allow more people in the department the opportunity to participate in that, to get used to dealing with the media, to bring up the level and raise the bar. And so congratulations to the successful PIO team, Captain Kim Fong, Captain John Rudnicki, Captain Chris Quinn, Engineer James J.B. Lee, and firefighter Rashawn Fulcher. And with that, I would just like to say that as we close in on the holiday season, you know, I would like to have everybody remember that there's a lot of people out there that have a lot less than any of us sitting here in this room. And you just drive down the street and you can see people waiting to try to get food and stuff like that down at Fishes and Loaves and the different places. So if you've got that in your heart, try to reach out and help somebody out. And I say that to all our firefighters. I know a lot of the board of directors and our staff and our employees do that. With that, I would like to wish each and every one of you, all the members of our district, all the firefighters, secretaries, mechanics, no matter what you do for this district, a very, very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief. And welcome to the podium for our operations report, Chief Holbrook.
Madam President, members of the board, thank you. Christopher Holbrook, Operations Chief. And it's actually been 35 days since we've talked last, and in that time, we have been dispatched on almost 6,100 medical aids. Both Metro Fire and our partner AMR transported at a rate of 70%, perfectly acceptable. We've additionally had 39 structure fires, relatively high, and normally I will categorize them for you and tell you what we've done to intercept. Certainly with that many, I will point out that by far and away the biggest impact that we have had in a positive way relative to those structure fires is that a great number of citizens were actually notified before the fire got too bad, and they were actually able to escape the home. In the large majority of those, the fire was contained exactly where it was when we arrived on scene, which shows that your firefighters, the professionals that work for this organization, truly are aggressive in putting themselves between the issue and values at risk. So I'm tremendously proud of them. Because we don't have enough to do day to day, there have been 4 primary projects that we've done as filler projects just to take up all our slack time. Operation Escape was a patient transportation or patient relocation exercise for the Department of Public Health. Metro Fire participates in the Type 3 Incident Management Team. That incident management team stood behind the Department of Public Health, who for the first time stood up their own incident management team, and we mentored them through that particular exercise. Tremendously effective, and they truly did the yeoman's work in terms of pulling off the objectives of that exercise. We kicked off what was called the Leadership Initiative for Metro Fire, a cross-cutting, rank has absolutely no place in the room group that was convened to do 2 things. 1, address succession planning, as the chief mentioned, and 2, absolutely influence the culture within this district. We literally have recruits all the way through to chief officers sitting on this group. An amazing exchange happened in the first meeting. Those meetings currently are being scheduled weekly, and we'll keep you updated as progress goes on. That initiative is actually being led by Chief John Wagner. Truly couldn't be prouder of John and his team's efforts for that. Because that wasn't enough, the last 3 days we actually sat with the Department of Homeland Security Science and Technology branch and informed them on a way to, in a parallel effort to our own simulator facility, in a way to initiate local modeling and simulation games. And we're talking if your children or young relatives play video games and the Halos and all of that type of stuff, that's exactly what we're talking about, except it's police and firefighters, and they have to learn to play together well. So for the last 3 days, we've informed them on what will work, what won't work, and an initiative that'll take probably a couple of years actually to execute, totally cross-cutting. It is the first city in the nation to have this done. Done by the U.S. Army, funded by the U.S. Army, and brought to us by Department of Homeland Security.
And that is Project,
I don't think it has
You
a
don't have-
cool
you didn't
name
give it a
yet.
name yet.
Yeah. It's Project A Lot of Work in No Time. Yeah.
Project a lot of work, there you
Police and
go.
fire games.
You're not going to be at next meeting.
Yeah. And then finally today, and unfortunately, had the honor to sit at a memorial service for one of our own. Firefighter Ronald Pike actually retired in the early 90s and stepped away from the agency on his own, well before his own retirement, because Ron was always very strong in his own personal beliefs, didn't particularly like what was going on, shook the chief's hand and walked away. So unfortunately, firefighter Pike passed away the other day, and in very quiet, I found out last night at 10:30, was able to make the service today and represent the district. Ron truly was a man's man and a firefighter's firefighter. So with that, I conclude my report. Thank you.
Very much, Chief. Righty, do we have General Counsel's report? Counsel Lavra?
Thank you. President Jones, I would just like to say that over the last course of the last year, it was very much a pleasure to be able to work with you on some of the issues that we had to confront and deal with and handle, and I enjoyed that very much. And at the same time, I'd like to congratulate Directors Kelly, Orzali, and Gould on their election, and in the same way, I look forward to working with you in the upcoming year. That's all I have.
Have SAC Metro Local 522 report. Welcome to the podium.
Thank you.
Ms.
Madam
Chief
President.
Johnson.
Board of Directors, Chief Inky. I'm not the official representative for Local 522, but certainly appreciate the opportunity to speak before you tonight, and every time you provide us with an opportunity to speak before you. So on behalf of Local 522, I'd like to first offer my condolences to the families of Chief Giblin, Lauren Wolcott, and firefighter Pike. Chief Giblin, I did know personally. In fact, a long time ago, he took me in my first fire in a training class way up in Forest Hill, so I still remember that to this day. And then, of course, Lauren Wolcott, who was a close personal friend, will definitely be missed, but we thank him for his service. I also want to congratulate President-elect Kelly, Vice President-elect Orzali, and Secretary-elect Grant Gould on your new positions coming up here, and we appreciate your service. Congratulations to firefighter Bartley and Bryn Wynn and for their dedicated service to Metro Fire, and we wish them the best. Like I said before, and I can't stress enough, the opportunity that we have on the agenda each and every board meeting. Sometimes we don't have somebody here, but be sure that we will absolutely make it a hard effort to make sure we get somebody here to speak on behalf of Local 522. And finally, and certainly not least, happy holidays to everybody. Have a great time. Get home, spend time with your families, and we'll see you in January.
All right, thank you, Chief Johnson. Moving on to committee and delegate reports. Executive Committee, it will be a TBA, and it will be by incoming President Kelly. We have our Communications Center, JPA, Chief Cochran. And welcome to the podium, Chief.
President Jones, Director, Scott Cochran, Deputy Chief Support Services. Before I go into the Communications Center, I just wanted to clear up a question that Director Gould had. I appreciate Steve Johnson's kind of taking over the role as our range master, and he's been doing that for a couple of years. We kind of give him the whole range. I gave him this combination of the safe and everything, so he's all in. The transfer of the weapon that we're doing to this is going, actually the guy that owns the gun store is somebody I know, and that there's no financial incentive to him. He actually did the transfer of the last one. He just does it for free for us. There's no charge. He actually does a transfer for, this gun's going to retired investigator Mitchell, where other places will charge a fee to do the
Right.
transfer. So I just wanted to clear that up.
Right.
There's no nothing strange going on there. The Comm Center, we had our meeting on Tuesday. We have our new executive director in place over there. She has a lot of energy. She has a lot going on. Just in the last couple of months, there's actually been quite a turnover of personnel there. So this is going to give her quite the opportunity to rebuild her team. She's reevaluating her organizational chart. She's reallocating positions, making new jobs, and really getting the place shaped up. Somebody coming in there with quite a bit of energy. When you walk by a box that's been sitting there for 15 years, she's now asking, why is that box sitting there? So it's a good opportunity.
Hasn't blown up yet.
That she is going to be putting out a job announcement for some new technical services help. She's looking for some people with some updated skills that are going to take her into the next generation of equipment, and she's excited about those opportunities. A couple of things that she wanted me to bring up to you had to do mainly with what she's going to need in the future, and a lot of it has to do with financial resources. We have I think it's not due until 2019, but that's going to come quicker than we think, is the P25 integration, which is changing from analog to digital. We're hoping for, this is a federal regulation, we're hoping for a lot of grant money to come help us out with that, because it's a nationwide changeover. Chief Taylor's pretty involved with that, but so is the Comm Center, and they're going to help us do that. But and in addition, we had an outside contractor come in and do an audit on the CAD system and the software system that we have in there now. And what they found was that it's actually working incredibly well, that the center has been doing a great job over the last number of years managing their program and keeping their, so we feel like we got about 100% rating on how well everything was running. However, the issue moving forward is that it is a several generations back of CAD and software, and the new iteration of that is going to be coming sooner than we want also, and there's a significant financial impact that's going to be brought on for Metro and all the other JPA districts out there. So something we need to keep in our minds for the future. And let's see. Actually, that's all I have, so any questions I can answer.
Director
Yes,
Moe?
sir.
Chief, this last week on the news was a little bit about Center High School and their dispatcher training program. Do we know anything about that?
I do not, no.
Okay, they have a dispatch training center that goes on at Center High School. In fact, a couple of their students came across somebody stumbling into the roadway that they pulled out of the road and basically saved him from that. So they get a little bit of notoriety for their dispatcher training and who to call and what to do. And I didn't know that they had a dispatcher training program either. So that might be with the troubles they were having finding dispatchers to work, that might be something we want to raise some contacts or keep in contact with to help them on their training as to what our needs are for the future too.
I'll pass that on to the center manager. And truth is that she's already really kind of come in and revamped their entire process on how they're hiring. Some of the, I don't remember the exact name, but they have sort of a Gold Star program now where these new recruits can come in, they can do sit-alongs, they can have mentors, they can have people that talk to them and get them through the process. They do have quite a failure rate on the new employees that they bring in. It's quite the multitasking job, so not everybody's really suited for it. But she wants to really change that around from a real low rate, entry rate, to a real high entry rate, and she has a plan to do that and has implemented that plan. So, but I'll pass that on to her that's available.
With her expertise coming from Roseville and all the work she did up there, it might be a good contact, cut some of that initial training time off the deal to get some better
Absolutely.
qualified candidates.
Yep, nope, that's great. She's redoing her, she's kind of taking on the role of making sure that they're branding their organization, so they're redoing their website. Some of the things that we've done, redoing their website, training on social media,
Cool.
just branding themselves as a, business organization out there.
It's the same thing as us going out looking for firefighter candidates. You look at volunteers, you look for people that are already interested in the industry that have gone out of their way to seek out some initial training on what to do. So us working with somebody that's already interested and got some initial training is to our benefit. So I'll see if I can find some contact information for you.
Yep, she's pretty open, so she'll be happy to hear it.
Cool.
Anything else? All right,
Thank you very much, Chief. We appreciate it. All right, our next committee and delegate report is California Fire and Rescue Training, JPA. Director Kelly?
The JPA has not met since I last reported out, and it was a lengthy report at that. The JPA will meet again on the 27th of February over on Shriver, and look forward to that meeting.
Thank you very much. Item number 4, Finance Committee, Director Monk.
Finance Committee met this evening. All directors were present. Just in real brief summary, the finances are looking good. We still are having some challenges in the new fire prevention program or the community risk development program, and look forward to having fire marshal at some of our meetings to help us along understanding some of the numbers.
All right, thank you very much. Item 5, Policy Committee. The next meeting will be announced at their meeting as necessary. Okay, and now we move to our board member questions and comments. Director Pearson, would you like to begin, or would you like me to pick on Director Monk and we'll work?
Fine, I have no comments, just have a Merry Christmas.
Back to you. Director Clark?
First of all, I'd like to congratulate the new executive board and thank Director Jones for her tenure this year as president. You've done a wonderful job. I know how it can be.
Have a nice vacation.
Yes. Also, I'd like to thank staff for all the work that they've done all year long and the personnel, each and every one of the members. I echo certainly the chief's comments about the district and what a good job everyone is doing. And we thank you for that. And I'd like to wish everyone out there, our constituents, a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. It covers everything. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, thank you, Director, appreciate that. Director Scheidegger?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a couple of comments. Number one, on a recurrent theme of mine, I really want to thank Chief Henke, Larry Davis, and staff for their successful efforts on these 4 grants that we talked about tonight.
I know particularly on the simulator project that we wouldn't have got there without your particular deep intervention, Chief, and we really appreciate it. And I know, Larry, you've done some great work in these other areas. And I wanted to let you know that I'm happy about this fitness grant, and I'd be more than happy to volunteer as kind of some sort of an image leader if the department wishes. I'm out there. Why are we laughing? I didn't. Secondly, I wanted to thank Michelle and Brenda and the other staff of 32 and the volunteers certainly for making a fantastic success of that open house at 32. I think it was November 12th, sometime in November, I forgot. But I was there, and I can tell you that the citizens, the community of Fair Oaks, I had a great time. They got to know their firefighters. They got to know how you live, how you work, what your equipment is. And it wasn't just for kids. I mean, I stood outside, talked to a lot of adults as they were leaving, and of course the kids were impressed, but it was great to see the adults walking out going, wow. So good job. And Chief, I hope we can do more of those because I think it's a tremendous, tremendous project that'll pay dividends for our firefighters. Finally, I too want to thank the staff. We've got a wonderful department. We've got tremendous staff. Thank Director Jones for your fine job this year. And to all the constituents out there, Merry Christmas, be safe, and have a great holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. Director Monk?
Oh, I want to join the other directors in congratulating the directors-elect in their positions. A lot of people think it's an easy job. It's not really an easy job depending on what you're putting into it. But to keep the board, to keep the district headed in the right directions takes a lot of planning, a lot of thought, a lot of cooperation, and I think each one of you will do a great job in setting us that way. Of course, you'll have to tell Director Rosali that because he's not here. So, I want to congratulate Larry Davis on the grants coming in. You continue to find and bring in the grants, another $500,000. AFG grant, yes, we talked about it before, but it's kind of if you don't ask, you don't get. And we keep finding things that we never had in the fire service in the past, so kudos, great job. I do want to thank the Rancho Cordova Chamber of Commerce for their patience and continuing to allow us to use the boardroom here while ours is being prepared. And Chief, kudos to you in getting the CalEMA approval. We talked in the past about finding a way to get CSTI up here, and when the news came out that they wanted to split north and south, we had an easy fix for them. And to see the cooperation on the simulator project and to see CSTI's interest in our location up here is just a great thing for us. And I think it'll draw a lot more training partners to our facility.
Let me just make one clarification, because that'll have political dynamics. CSTI isn't moving up here. Let me clarify that, but we'll be under their umbrella, maybe someday, but I just wanted to make that clarification before that echoed up and down the state, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, good job anyway. And again, Larry Davis and Scott Cockrum, excellent work on the Hurley building. We had the property, and be able to step forward and help our allied partners out here. It's not like we're not going to rely on them at some point in the future when we need assistance, but to be able to help out these people in times of limited budgets in a facility that they could use that fit what they needed, to fit what we needed to get rid of, or to find different uses for, great work, especially in the short time period that you had to put it all together. And finally, I wanted to congratulate all the retirees and the people that made it there. This is it's an interesting job, it's a tough job. And to be able to make it through to your retirement, you deserve a lot of credit and a lot of thanks from this district for all the hard work, regardless of the classification or category you were in. You worked long and hard to get to that retirement level. Please enjoy it. That's it.
Thank you, Director Monk. Director Gould?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First off, I'd like to thank you personally for your leadership this last year. You've done an outstanding job of herding the cats. Just really stalwart job, which we knew you could do. In the coming weeks, I sure would like to see us potentially have a report from our staff on our tactical EMS group. There's been some things that I know they've done recently that have been a big deal, and it'd be kind of nice to have them, no pun intended, but they're kind of in the shadows frequently, and it'd be nice to hear what they're doing as another example of kind of the cutting edge work that this agency is involved in that oftentimes is just not, our citizens are not aware of. I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and end with this idea that about 2 years ago, a board member that was with us encouraged me to come visit him at his office, and I did that on a day where he was full of energy, on a day where he was also actively fighting cancer. And I remember him being, having that spirit of service, despite no doubt feeling very terrible that day. And to see him come alive, he was frequently alive on this dais, but he was even more alive when he watched food come into a pantry or into a warehouse, and he really lived the spirit of service. And so I just, on his behalf and in his honor, ask each of us to think about looking for a moment in the next couple of weeks where we can make a difference in someone's life. It doesn't necessarily have to involve a gift or anything more than maybe just a hug and a I love you and a hope you're feeling okay and here's some food. Because that's clearly what this director lived every single day. And he started as a humble meat cutter, and he was a very proud man to serve others. And he will forever, for me, be the essence of this holiday season. He lived it, where most of us just talk about it. Thank you, President.
Thank you for the kind words, Director. Director Kelly.
I wanted to express my sincere condolences to the Walcott, Giblin, and Pike families. I wanted to congratulate the returning directors. Great news on the wellness grant and the avionics grant. Did you say that was a ShipShap grant? I didn't.
ShishCap, I don't know what it means, but
Okay. Good enough
that's
for
what
me.
it is.
And,
That might have to be
and I'm
bleeped.
very happy to hear that the simulator project is moving forward and that permanent home for our directors will be on its way soon. The TI work, I had a quick question. The TI work at Hurley, who's going to supervise or oversee that work? Okay?
We're going to end up using
Thank you. And then I would also like to thank the Rancho Cordova City Council for allowing us to inhabit this space for as long as we have, and would like to extend my congratulations to Donald Terry, who is a newly elected city councilman here. They had a recount, and Donald prevailed on the recount by a mere 8 votes. So please, whoever this is touching, don't ever think your vote doesn't count. And Grant touched on it, and I've got to say his name. Tom Lawson was a friend of mine, and I miss Tom tremendously, and Grant is absolutely right. You cannot, if you knew Tom, you cannot help but think about the man during this time of year. And he would encourage you, no matter where you are in life, whatever your stature, help somebody that's less fortunate than you are, because we all have that ability to help somebody less fortunate. And then I would like to apologize. I'm sitting here with all kinds of gifts. Everybody's got gifts. I am just the absolute worst at it. I own it, but I have never showed up at this dais at the Christmas meeting with a gift for anybody. So I apologize, but I'm just terrible at it. And then it's exciting to hear about the extracurricular activities you've done, whether it be the Escape Project, the Leadership Project, or a project yet to be named. Very happy to see those things being done. And I wanted to thank Gay Jones. Gay, you have always displayed professional attitude, I'm sure just like you did when you worked in the fire service. Your professionalism is unparalleled by anybody I've seen sit at that chair, and I hope that I can do the job that you have. And to all of Metro Fire, the professionalism that you guys display, you men and women display on a daily basis, whether it be on the line, in the administration, wherever it may be. It still humbles me to think that I can be part of such a wonderful organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Kelly. Right, I have a few items. One is I wanted to thank the staff and the clerk of the board for the swearing in on December 7th for myself and my fellow directors who we get to serve, and we're honored to serve another 4 years in this capacity. And thank you to the staff, too, who showed up. We didn't do any big speeches then, and I'd like to do just a sentence or two now, in that it really is an honor and a privilege to work with the district. And the district is all of us, and it's their synergistic effect of all of us plus. And that is just what makes me so delighted and feel so positive about working with this organization. So thank you to each and every one of you on that. I did attend the 2x2 with the City of Rancho Cordova, along with the chief and senior staff. We continue to have an excellent working relationship to public agencies, and again, reiterate the thanks to the city for letting us use their facilities. Still temporary, we promise, it's only temporary, but thank you very much to the City of Rancho Cordova. I also enjoyed the open house by Local 522. As stated earlier, that it is a great networking opportunity, and it's some very good holiday cheer. And I appreciate all the support of all the countywide representation that occurs at that event. I would like to let everyone, our public audience in particular, please enjoy a safe and a merry holiday for you and your families. And then for closing of the meeting, I'd like to have a moment of remembrance and close in honor of both Lauren Walcott and also Dublin McAllister, two gentlemen I had the privilege to work with during my time at Sac City, as well as Chief Giblin and Ron Pike. So will you please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. This meeting is adjourned.